Two drivers, same street, same officer, same 3 words. Sign right here. Driver 1 crosses his arms. I'm not signing anything. Signing means I'm guilty. 22 minutes later, he's in the back of a patrol car, not for his broken taillight, but for refusing to put his name on a piece of paper. Driver 2, 3 cars down, same night. He signs everything the officer hands him. The ticket, then a second form, then a third. Cooperative, easy, smiling. He goes home thinking he dodged a bullet. He didn't know it yet, but one of those signatures just became the reason he lost his case in court 4 months later. Both men thought they were being smart. Both were wrong. In opposite directions. Here, quote S what neither of them understood. Sign here is not one request. It's 2 completely different requests wearing the same 3 words. One of them protects you when you sign it. The other one destroys you. And the person holding the clipboard is never going to tell you which is which. By the time this video ends, you will never confuse the 2 again. And I'll hand you the exact sentence that keeps you safe before your pen ever touches paper. I quote M. Robert Hayes. On this channel, I take the laws that already protect you, the ones nobody sits you down and explains, and I break them into plain English you can actually use on the one night it matters. Quick honest note. I'm not a lawyer, this isn't legal advice, and laws vary by state, so talk to a licensed attorney about your own situation. But every ruling and every statute I name in this video is real, and I'll tell you exactly where to verify it yourself. Let quote S split this apart, because the whole video rests on this one distinction. A signature can do one of 2 jobs. Job 1 is a promise, a traffic citation, for example. When you sign it, you're not confessing to anything. You're making one small commitment. You'll either pay the fine or show up in court instead of getting hauled downtown tonight. Look at almost any ticket in the country, and right above the signature line you'll find something like, "Without admitting guilt, I promise to appear." That's the entire meaning of your signature there, nothing more. Job 2 is a surrender, a consent to search form, a written statement, a rights waiver. These don't record a promise, they give something away. Your name on one of these hands over a protection the Constitution built specifically for you. Same 3 words, 2 completely different outcomes. And under pressure, with lights flashing and your pulse in your ears, they look identical. That's not an accident, it's exactly why so many people get this backwards. Picture, someone will call Daniel, 58, a small business owner, never had so much as a parking ticket. He rolls through a stop sign, gets pulled over, and the officer writes him a citation. Daniel's gut tells him signing equals admitting guilt, so he refuses. That instinct feels principled. It's actually one of the most expensive mistakes you can make on a traffic stop, because in a lot of states, refusing to sign a citation isn't neutral. It's grounds for arrest. Under California Vehicle Code Section 40,302, an officer is authorized to take you into custody specifically because you refuse to sign the written promise to appear, separate from whatever the original violation was. In Florida, Statute 318.143 makes willfully refusing to sign a citation its own second-degree misdemeanor, meaning what started as a fix-it ticket can become a criminal charge with an arrest attached. And in Georgia, under OCGA 40-13-2.1, refusing to sign gives the officer reasonable cause to believe you won't show up to court, which allows them to take you before a judge to post a cash bond right then and there. So Daniel's stand on principle didn't protect him from anything. The signature was never an admission in the first place. It just cost him a night in a holding cell, an impound fee, and a bond over a citation he could have paid and forgotten about by the weekend. Notice the pattern. The ticket signature was never the threat. The refusal was. Now let's go to the paper where the opposite is true, where signing is the threat and refusing is what protects you. An officer wants to search your car, your bag, your phone, or your home. They don't have a warrant. They may not even have enough to justify one. So they ask, and sometimes they slide a small form toward you and say, "Just sign here saying it's fine." Do not sign that. Here's the legal weight behind that warning. Normally, police need a warrant or probable cause to search your belongings. But the Supreme Court settled this back in 1973 in Schneckloth versus Bustamonte. If you voluntarily consent, the government doesn't need a warrant and doesn't need probable cause. Your agreement alone is enough. And a signature is the strongest form of yes there is. It's you in your own handwriting, telling a judge months later, I agreed to this, before your attorney ever gets a chance to argue otherwise. Take someone we'll call Marisol, 34. Pulled over late on a Friday, tired, wanting the stop over with. The officer asks to look in her trunk and hands her a form. She signs without reading it, because that's what you do when someone in uniform asks. Inside that trunk is a bag a friend left behind that she knew nothing about. Her signature is the reason a judge never even had to ask whether the search itself was legal. She'd already answered that question for them, in ink. Then there's the written statement, where they ask you to write down what happened in your own words and sign it. Understand what that actually is. A confession, waiting for your name. The Fifth Amendment exists specifically so you can't be forced to testify against yourself. A signed statement is you volunteering to do exactly that. You are never required to write one or sign one. And finally, the rights waiver, usually at the station, where you sign to say you understand your rights and you're willing to talk without a lawyer present. In Miranda v. Arizona, 1966, the court ruled police must inform you of those rights before questioning you in custody, but having a right and using it are two separate acts. Signing that waiver is you personally switching your own protection off. And here's the part almost nobody tells you. An officer can legally tell you signing this will help you, even when it won't. The Supreme Court confirmed in Frazier v. Cupp, 1969, that police are allowed to use deception during questioning. So it'll go easier if you just sign is not a promise you can rely on. On these three documents, consent, statement, waiver, signing almost never helps you. It helps them. And that signature doesn't disappear when the encounter ends. It sits in a file, working quietly against you long after you've gone home. Whenever a pen comes out and you're not sure what you're being handed, don't sign immediately, and don't refuse immediately either. Ask one calm question first. Officer, what exactly am I signing? That single question does the heavy lifting. It forces the paper to declare itself. If it's a citation, they'll tell you it's a citation. If it's a consent form, they now have to say that out loud, and a lot of the pressure in the moment evaporates the second it's named. Then, depending on the answer, here is the line. Say it now, out loud, so it's already in your memory before you ever need it. If it's a ticket, I'll sign it. That's a promise to appear, not an admission of guilt. But I won't sign a consent form, a statement, or anything that gives up my rights, and I don't consent to any searches. One question. 2 sentences. That's the entire strategy. What exactly am I signing? Strips away the ambiguity the whole tactic depends on. If it's a ticket, I'll sign it. Shows you're not the person who fights everything and gets arrested over a taillight. You cooperate with the harmless paper, which keeps the stop calm and keeps you free. That's a promise to appear, not an admission of guilt. Signals politely that you already understand exactly what your signature means, which quietly tells a trained officer you're not an easy target for confusion. I won't sign a consent form, a statement, or anything that gives up my rights. Draws the line before any pressure starts, so there's no room to be talked into, just this one form. I don't consent to any searches are the specific words a judge wants to hear later. Not I'd rather not I guess it's fine, but a clean, on-record refusal. Under Schneckloth, your consent is the easiest key law enforcement has to a search. This sentence takes that key off the table. They might say, if you don't sign, I'm taking you in. If it's a citation, fine. Sign it since it costs you nothing. But if they're threatening you over a consent form or statement, understand this. No lawful arrest depends on you waiving your rights. You can hold steady. I'm happy to sign the ticket. I won't sign a consent form or a statement. They might say, it'll go easier if you just sign. As we covered, they're legally allowed to say that even when it's false. Your answer stays flat. I'd like a lawyer before I sign or say anything. They might say, everybody signs this, it's routine. Routine for them isn't the same as safe for you. I'm sure it is, but I don't sign anything that gives up my rights without a lawyer. They might say, what have you got to hide? You owe no answer to that question. Using a right isn't evidence of anything. I'm not hiding anything. I just don't consent to searches and I'd like a lawyer. And if they search anyway, don't physically resist. Say clearly, I do not consent to this. Remember what happened, and save the details for court. The roadside is where they hold the power. The courtroom is where that balance flips. And that's the only place this actually gets decided. First, the fake officer scam. If someone calls claiming you missed a court date and demands you sign something and pay immediately, by gift card, wire, or app, that's a scam every time. No real agency clears a warrant that way. Urgency itself is the red flag. Hang up and call the actual agency using a number you look up yourself. Second, a genuine exception worth knowing. Chemical tests after a suspected DUI arrest work differently. Most states have implied consent laws, meaning if you're lawfully arrested for DUI, refusing a breath or blood test can automatically cost you your license, separate from the criminal case. That's a different animal from a consent to search form, and it varies significantly by state, which is exactly why, if you're ever unsure what you're being asked to sign, "I'd like to speak to a lawyer before I sign anything" is always a safe place to land. So here's the whole video in one breath. Sign here is two different papers. The ticket is a promise. Sign it. Stay free. Fight it in court if you want to. The consent form, the statement, the waiver. Those are surrenders, and you don't sign a surrender. When you're not sure which one is in front of you, ask, "What exactly am I signing?" Then say the line. If it's a ticket, I'll sign it. That's a promise to appear, not an admission of guilt. But I won't sign anything that gives up my rights, and I don't consent to any searches. The rule underneath all of it never changes. Comply with your body, assert with your words, and fight it in court. Never on the street. If this cleared something up for you, send it to the person you know who signs whatever's put in front of them. It might save them a genuinely bad night. Subscribe if you want more of these, one real situation at a time. And here's what's coming next, because there's a moment even more dangerous than the pen. The moment an officer says, "Step out of the vehicle." Most people obey without knowing that what they do in the next 10 seconds decides whether the search that follows is even legal. That's the next video. I'll see you there.